The major issues began to occur on our farm in 1989-90. Since then, snails have become our major problem. Everything we do on our farm, we work out how we've dealt with the snails, what numbers are there, what we actually grow. We've got no complete control of them. We haven't ever been able to break the life cycle, and so we just go from one year to the next. When we first had our problems, no one generally wanted to talk about it, and I felt like just going home behind the mallee bushes and hide and just give up. But we sort of changed from that, and people have got to talk about it. The more you talk about it, the more ideas you can get. And I think the most important thing at the moment is a huge area of Australian cropping ground that now is snails, and if people don't deal with them while they're in small numbers, well then eventually their farm's going to be riddled with snails. So the key messages that I want to explain to you at this stage are to monitor the snail numbers and the type of snail and really have a good look. Even if you think you haven't got any, roadsides, in the edge of native vegetation, rail corridors, those sort of places. I will mention the Basham, Burnham, Batum manual, available from GRDC. There's no silver bullet yet to break the life cycle, regardless of all the work that has been done, and a lot of this has been funded by GRDC. After all that, I'm the first to agree that we have made our land a perfect habitat for the 4 species of snails that we have on our farm, because they love it. They love the shelter, and the stubble that's there retains moisture for a longer period of time, and we're not burning them, so we don't reduce burning. They are surviving. They are surviving in our climate.
Today I'm going to try and present more about knowing your enemy and trying to understand your enemy and understanding their behaviour and when they're active and everything like that. So when you're doing your different controls, they're actually timed and they're strategic and you understand how it all works. I think it's really, really important to tell the blokes that haven't got a problem with snails, well, don't believe that. I've seen plenty of places where they've been just around silos or they've been along a creek line, and then 20 years later you're going back and they're across the whole paddock. These things do take some time to spread it, but once you get them, then you've got all these extra costs of all that cleaning and all that extra work. By just simply putting some bait on and trying to contain them to areas and burning little areas and stuff like that around sheds and removing habitat and all that sort of thing is really important. The cultural control methods often can lead to erosion as well, which is why farmers have moved away from them. They've actually got a really complex breeding system. The higher the density of snail, the smaller it is and the less eggs it produces. So if you've only got 4 snails per square metre out in the paddock, it's probably more likely to produce 1,000 eggs. If you've got
6,000,
it's probably only likely to produce 100 eggs. They invade and they get round your silo and then they breed up and they got somewhere adapted to their new home, and then they go out in the paddock and they go, there's no other snails here. They just go crazy and they just lay eggs everywhere, particularly if you get a year that's favourable. That's the problem, and that's why we're pretty red hot on. Go and tell anybody that says they haven't got a snail, go and have a look around your silos, any old water courses, make sure you know where all those spots are and you keep on top of it. So what we've done as researchers, we're actually painting the different snails and actually trying to track them digitally and also collect all the environmental variables too, so we can have a better understanding. So that goes part of knowing your enemy or that. So trying to kill any pest, you have to understand it. Those that have already got a problem know how hard it is to deal with them. Those people that say, oh, I haven't got snails, just go and hit them with a hammer and say, well, it's everyone's problem.